Welcome to Science and Sports, the podcast about the diverse field of sports science. My name is Simon Heidenreich, and I'm happy to welcome you to the show. I have a master's degree in sports science, and I currently work as a strength and conditioning coach for the Blue Devils Weiden in the DL2 and as an athletic trainer for the German under-17 national team. With my experience and passion for sport, I would like to offer you exciting insights, current research results, and practical tips about training, sports science, and health. No matter if you're an athlete yourself, work in the sports sector, or are simply interested in a topic, you have come to the right place. Let's immerse ourselves in the world of sports science together and continually gain new insights. In today's episode, I'm talking to Jake Smith. Jake is an old teammate of mine who recently played in the East Coast Hockey Leauge. In total, he played over 170 games in the ECHL. In his youth, he played a year in Europe, the QMJHL, and the OHL. I had the opportunity to play junior level ice hockey with Jake in 2014 and senior hockey in 2019. Today, he gives us a look behind the scenes of an East Coast Hockey League player, his training routines, and the always ongoing battle with fatigue and regeneration. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, but please be aware that we had 2 to 3 minor problems with the audio. This podcast is presented by Like Me, your partner for social media and online marketing from Weiden, and Praxis im Salzhaus, your contact for physiotherapy and health in Altenstadt. Yeah, we're live.
There you go.
First ever English episode. I'm excited how that one goes.
That'll go good.
So, Jake, thank you for your time. We've known each other a long time now and played together in the junior team in Rosenheim. I think it was 2014, 2015, so almost 10 years now. What are you up to today?
Not much, man. No, it's good. Thanks for having me. I've been I just finished my 5th year pro over here in North America. I'm just playing hockey. I started a hockey development business a couple of years ago, and last summer it was taking off, and this summer it's been 3 times as busy. So I'm just kind of doing that. I also working for a media company. We're running a hockey magazine, so kind of just busy all day long now. So I'm glad I could set aside some time and talk with you and catch up a little bit, talk a little about some nutrition, some sports, some the training side of things.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for your time. I mean, you're pretty busy at the moment. Like you said, you just finished your 5th year pro in the East Coast. How is it over there? How is it to play on that high of a level?
It's good, man. It's tough. It's a long season. Like you start basically late October, the 3rd week October, and you finish, first week or 2 of April. It's tough. You play 72 games. You maybe get 4 or 5 days at Christmas, 4 or 5 days for All-Star break. Other than that, you're going 3-4 times a week. Practices 2, 3, 4 times a week, and it's a lot. It's a heavy schedule in a short period of time, and it can take a lot on the body. But it's been especially with the travel too. But it was fun.
When you compare it to your years in Germany, we only played on Friday and Sunday. I mean, in juniors we played Saturday, Sunday. How is it in the East Coast now for you? Do you play during the week, or is it just on weekends?
No, actually, you play on the week. Like sometimes you'll have a game on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, or sometimes on a Thursday, and then you'll play, Saturday, Sunday, or Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're playing a lot of 3-and-3s. You're playing a lot of back-to-back games where maybe you're at home one night and you're away the next day, so you got to travel after the game. It's a lot. It's taxing on the body, especially your back, your hips on the bus after games. Taking that time to try to unwind from that high pace. No, it's completely different, especially with being in Rosenheim, being in Germany, and the shorter schedule, and you have that time in between to kind of recover from the game. I find over here you didn't have that much time compared, and it was nice because I felt my body over in Europe didn't take that much of a beating as it did here in North America.
From the physical standpoint, or from also traveling a lot?
I think for both. The North American game is a lot more physical than the European game. But then you add in the, the traveling, 5, 6 hours on a bus after a game, or, you know, maybe you're traveling, a couple hours the next morning and you gotta sleep on the bus for the pregame nap. Like it's a lot, but it everything together, like the schedule over here, it's hard to maintain a healthy body for a full 72, you know, games in a season.
Do you always travel by bus on the game days, or do you sometimes travel by plane or arrive a day earlier?
A lot. So we would always go the day before, generally speaking, unless we had like, back to back or 3 and 3. How the schedule is set up, like you're not usually in 3 cities. For 3 and 3, it's maybe 2 cities. You play,
Hmm.
you know, maybe one city, you travel after that game, and then you play 2 games, like a Saturday, Sunday in another city, and then you travel home. Um, if it's under a certain amount of hours, we would usually bus. Um, Other than that, you kind of have to fly. Sometimes you're busing, otherwise you'd be busing 12, 14 hours, and
Yeah.
that that's not really the best on the body. And travel wise for our trainers, like it's just easier for them to, book flights, schedule stuff like that.
So sometimes, like you said, you spend like a couple of days just on a road trip and play different teams in different cities? Or is it always
Yeah,
like a home game, road game, like in Europe?
no, it's different. Like I remember this year, I went 3 weeks straight where we would be on the road from like, you know, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. All right, so we'd be on the road from Wednesday all the way to like Sunday morning. We'd get back at 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd have Sunday off, Monday optional day, Tuesday, morning practice, and then we travel again. And we get to that
Mhm.
city, stay the night before on a Wednesday, play the game, travel Thursday to the next city for Friday, Saturday. We'd be on the road for 5 days out of the week, and it was a lot.
So how do you maintain like a high level of performance or battle like the fatigue what sets in during those long bus rides or those long season that you have now?
Um, I feel a lot would be obviously, your nutrition, your um, body maintenance, strength wise, like continuing to try to get workouts in. Eating is a huge thing. I'm very strict on my eating. Obviously, like you're gonna have the odd, bad meal. That's okay because you burn so many calories. But I think I found what worked best for me, and I continuously eat that. Like I always bring like food on the road, or I'd find like local healthy like restaurants to order from. I never really ate bad. I tried not to just because I felt the next day it would take a lot to, process that food and get the energy I needed out of it. I'm very big on playing with chicken, sweet potato, broccoli. I've
Mhm.
ate that for so many years, and that was, my go-to meal the day of and the night before, just because my body could break down the nutrients, the carbohydrates, um, that I needed for the next day or needed for that day. And it didn't sit in my stomach too heavily. It was nice and light, but also filling and very nutritious.
Yeah, but you say um, obviously every week is different for you. You don't have like this scheduled routine that you had in Europe where you have specific days for specific workouts. You know, you play every Friday, every Sunday, and you can like build your whole week around it. Now that you played for Reading Royals, if I'm correct, the last year at the end,
Yeah,
um, and you play like you said on a Wednesday, you play Saturday, Sunday. Where do you get your like workouts in, or how do you maintain your body and you get your training hours in?
it's hard. Like you'd have to base it around when you're gonna play. Like I didn't want to do anything. You're not really lifting heavy during the season. I feel it'd be a lot of like maintenance work, lifting, decently good weights, but like and a lot of body weight, a lot of hip mobility, banded exercises, explosion exercises. We would never like I'm not gonna go do like a heavy squat or bench press or, a deadlift during the season. I do, very lightweight, explosive movements just so I'm feeling my body and feeling like the strength that I have, it's still there because you're going to lose muscle mass over the season.
For
It's just,
sure. Yeah.
it's crazy in that standpoint how much you actually lose. So if I can maintain, a good portion of what I've built over the summer months, I'm happy with that. So like say if I played on a Wednesday, had an optional day Monday, like I'm gonna do like I'll do an okay workout, get a sweat in and a lot of like hip mobility, shoulder mobility, working on my back. I wouldn't really work out Tuesday, it'd just be a lot of strength, just a lot of stretching, maybe some yoga. But generally speaking, you only get like, 1 or 2 days a week where you actually can work out. You're uh, you're just playing games and practicing or you're
Yeah.
traveling.
Yeah. I did it the last year here with my players that I try to monitor them every month to see how their body changes during the regular season. And I try to obviously get them to don't lose that much of muscle mass during the season. You can't
Yeah.
really stop it obviously because you, like you said, work on explosive stuff, you work on speed, a lot of mobility and recovery. I try to monitor it during the entire season so I can work against the muscle loss, to say it like that. Do you have
Mhm.
systems where you can, what you use, where you can monitor different like athletic stuff, recovery methods? Do you use something in the team?
We, our trainer wouldn't like, he would monitor us individually. He'd like check in on us, see how we're doing. Like, I mean, at this level, in the pro level, we kind of know our bodies and know what we have to do, what's sore, maybe your legs aren't as powerful. So then maybe for a couple of weeks, you just focus on a couple leg workouts or your upper body's feeling, not as explosive or not as tight or not as strong. Like, you add some dumbbell workouts in and shoulder workouts and pull ups. We never really were like heavily monitorized in that sense. It was more of like we'd have our trainers constantly checking in on us, seeing, you know, what's wrong, what's good, what we need to focus on, and giving us like little like snippets of like, here, this is, I want you to do this and base your workout around this. And,
Mhm.
I want you to focus on, different hip mobility stretches today compared to shoulder stretches. So that's what we were kind of monitoring. Nothing crazy.
Do you have a system that you use like on ice, for example?
We didn't really have a system even for on ice. Everything was kind of just like feel as you go. So if your hips are
Okay.
tight, your back is tight, you know, you get off, you do your hot tub, you do your cold tub, you get you get worked on, you get cupping done, heat pump. Um, it's always just preparation and before practice and after it's just taking care of your body and seeing maybe your knees are sore that day. Okay, you get stim done on your knees and you sit in a cold tub and hot tub for a bit and then your trainer assesses it after that. We weren't really too heavily like guided. It was
Mhm.
more of like, hey, this is what's wrong today, this is what's wrong maybe this week, let's focus on that and go from there.
But you have someone like in the team who looks at you every day, does workouts with you every day. So it's
Yeah, our
very
athletic trainer, yeah,
okay.
he would check in on us, like he's checking in on guys every single day, asking, he comes sees us, oh hey, how you doing, what's wrong, how you feeling today? And if you're feeling good, he's like, all right, you're good, like if anything happens,
Yeah,
like you let me know.
yeah,
They're pretty easy going in that sense. At the level where I'm at, like professional standpoint, you need to know your body. If you don't know your body by this point, what are you
yeah,
doing?
for sure. Yeah, but there's always someone around, obviously, who you can talk to and you can do stuff daily with him.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. Just asking, and I'm curious because we use a monitoring system daily to check on the progress for lifting or for the on ice variables, so we can check on them after practice, after the games, see their fatigue levels, see them like their um, yeah individualized stress on the body that builds up during
Yeah,
the week, so we can really try to adjust the practice for everyone focused on the game days, so they're at like 100%.
Mhm. Like yeah, like our trainer, they're always in contact with our coaching staff, and say if like boys are legs are sore from like a bus ride and backs are sore, like we're not going to do a heavy practice or uh, if we don't play for a couple days, like it'd be like one or two warm up drills, couple flow drills, and then we
Uh,
would do a lot of like system stuff where maybe it's like in zone power play and penalty kill, focusing on guys who just a lot of talking and systematically defensive stuff and offensive stuff, so that we're not moving, but we're also still educating our game and dialing in our practices.
what about the guys when you say you have like a easy practice, just get the legs going, um, move a little bit, good passes, couple of shots,
Mm-hmm.
some special teams. What about the players who maybe didn't play or that didn't had a lot of have a lot of ice time the last games? Do you work like does your athletic coach work with them separately afterwards?
Yeah, so they would work with our like assistant coach, who generally would do like, so we would have a time where like the players who played or playing the next game that were not allowed on the ice, like past like say if practice is only like 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, we'd have
Mhm.
15 minutes to work on little stuff. And then the players who didn't play, they'd have another practice after that for like another 20 minutes where they're actually
Okay.
working hard, they're getting more of a sweat on. The assistant coach has drills where they're pushing them for that time just because they didn't put in that much. They didn't put in the game like speed of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
actually playing a game. So they would still generally be getting a workout in.
But you're saying
Nothing,
on the ice, right?
yeah, on the ice,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then sometimes they'd have a workout after too. So if they
Okay.
weren't playing the next game, they'd have their skate after a practice, and then they'd have a workout written for them by the trainer where, if they weren't playing or they were scratched for a Wednesday game and they could potentially be in Friday, and we're practicing on a Monday, they would have like a heavy lift. That's when they do a heavy lift. That's when they could, do a full workout, just so that they're also doing more to try and want to get back in the lineup,
Mhm.
or they are trying to access that body and get things going.
Yeah, obviously it's has a lot to do with like the coaching staff, how they handle it, I guess.
Yeah.
Was it in the teams you played before in the East Coast, was it always like this? Or obviously every coach
Everywhere's
has a different approach and a different
yeah,
mindset.
everywhere's different. Like obviously there'd be places like you get your workouts in because it's something you need to do. There's more places than others that were like very on you about your workouts. Um, But then there's coaches where they look at you and say, "Hey, you're a professional. You're at that age. Like, you know what you have to do to get your body ready for the game." And some are they're just like, "I don't care what you do. You get ready. You make sure you perform on your day because that's what
Yeah,
you're here to do as a hockey player."
yeah. But when you look back at your time playing pro in Germany, what did you like more about the like for your routine wise? What was easier for you to work in
I like the big ice. I could skate more. And
in
just
Europe?
yeah, I didn't get hit as much. That was awesome. I like that. And playing with some of the guys, growing up. But I think on that standpoint, it's like the European game is completely different than the North American.
Yeah,
Completely different style of game, completely different than you know what people think it truly is. Some people have an understanding, but until you actually step on the ice in Europe, step on the ice in a game compared to North America, you'll never know. It's all a
yeah,
lot more possession based. Yeah, it's physical because that's hockey, but it's a lot more possession based, a lot more control, and that's how the game is. And that's where I don't feel my body took as much as a beating in playing over there. I was able to skate more. Obviously, I have to take care of my hips after and my legs. Obviously, rolling a cold tub, hot tub, but nothing like hitting and getting hit heavily to like the shoulders and back where I would in North America.
yeah. It's crazy to think about that we played in juniors together for a year and ended
Yeah,
up playing in the same like lineup 5 years later again.
crazy.
And it's small world, but now you're
Yeah,
yeah, but now you're like
like
stuck in the US playing in the East Coast. What's your like? Yeah.
It's no, so I don't think I said so. I'm retiring.
Oh, you are.
So I'm retiring now. So I've played my fair share. I've done my games. I'm retiring from hockey. So I won't be going. I won't be playing again anymore. You know what? I have a really good setup with my new job with the media company, along with my hockey development brand, which is blowing up. I have you know in a span of a week, I'm training over, I'd say, 80 different players at once.
Okay.
So it's blowing up in a sense where I'm giving my feedback from playing professionally, and I'm bringing it into these skates, bringing them into skill skates, private shooting sessions, you know group sessions where I can give my expertise, give my professional hockey advice to these players, and I care about that because I've been doing it for a bit now, but I want to see the guys I train under my name and my brand, make it to the next level. Maybe they get into the OHL, maybe they get an NCAA commitment, or maybe they're just trying to make their next team or get ready for a season. So that's where I'm kind of at my career in hockey now. I'm still around hockey. Like I'm around it all day. I live, breathe hockey still. So it's not like, am I sad I'm not playing anymore? Yeah, but at the same time, I'm happy. I've had a great hockey career. Um, I got to play over in Europe with you. Got to play over there in Germany and Rosenheim. Probably, one of the, I can truly say one of the coolest places to play. It's got a lot of culture there, a lot of, compared to I look at here, it's way more culture and a better, uh, you know, living experience and hockey experience in North America. Um, I think for anyone who has a chance to go play in Europe, they need to do it, especially from a Canadian standpoint, because there's nothing like it. You go
Yeah.
play there, and then you win a couple games, and then there's a case of beer in the dressing room. So it's like it's awesome. It's like stuff like that, but and then you got the Oktoberfest, and you know you get to meet, like, you and I, we met each other what, 10 years ago,
Yeah. True.
right? So
Yeah.
it's like buddy for life. So it's cool. I've had a good career, but I'm happy to like move on and step into a new career in life. And I have some plans and some goals and some things in the works right now that I'm excited about. So it's good.
It sounds awesome. I mean, same for me when I retired 2 years ago. It was always
Mhm.
a big point for me that I still be around like hockey because you do it your whole life and you don't want to like move away completely.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're born in Ontario, if I remember
Yes.
correctly. Are
Yeah.
you? Is your like new job, like your camp, your development camp, based there, or are you still in the
Mm,
States?
No, yeah. So I'm in my girlfriend and I, we live downtown Toronto. So we're
Mhm.
just outside downtown, and I train players all over, kind of like the outskirts of Toronto. Um, so I'm here. I'm in Ontario. I got a good group of players I train in this area. Um, I got players that I work with remotely, and it's good though. It's a hub. Ontario, Toronto area is like the hockey hub of Canada.
Yeah.
Um, so there's no better place I'd rather be to start that type of business.
If a good team comes around the corner, would you think about coming back, or is it done for you?
I don't know. Right now I'm retired. Right now I'm retired. It's something like I still train. I'm still training. Right. I'm still working out.
Yeah.
Four times a week. I'm running. I'm on the ice. Not training on the ice, but I'm on the ice 5 hours a day right now. So for me to get back into like a game shape of actual training would take me 2 weeks max. Skating, a couple times a week, that's not an issue, a feeling thing, because it's always there. Like I'm playing, I'm heavily invested in roller hockey.
Hmm.
So roller hockey is getting big over here. I like it. There's I didn't realize how big roller hockey actually was, especially like it's pretty big over in like Spain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's growing here a lot too, more for me. and I like it. I play with a bunch of like pro hockey guys here. Like there's a good league here we play in. So I'm like in that. So it's like I'm still keeping up with like the hockey game standpoint. So if I ever needed to, I could, go play a game. There's a new 3-on-3 professional league that's happening here in North America. It's called
Mm-hmm.
the NHL. It starts up in, I guess, in October. So I want to try and see if I can get into that. That would be fun. I know
Yeah,
it'd be a cool little league,
yeah.
but it's like as of right now, I'm retired. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Do you only like offer your clients like on the ice practice, or do you also provide them with like strength, conditioning, or like nutrition wise?
No, so I don't. I only do on ice stuff. So two of the arenas I work with, they
Mm-hmm.
have there's two gyms that are there. The one gym is owned by a gentleman named Paul Ferry. He's very very smart individual in the training aspect. A lot of sports science based trading. He's got an awesome setup, training lots of junior guys. You know, the average Joe that just has a job and wants to have like good quality training. Um, Trains everyone. So he's awesome. I met Paul, and then the other guy is Kevin Chapman. Kevin Chapman was actually over with Ska in the what's the Russian league, the KHL. He was just
Mm-hmm.
with them. So he has a gym at one of the other arenas I work with and train guys out of. And again, Kevin Chapman, same like Paul, they're both unbelievable guys from a standpoint of training aspect, of programming. So that's where, typically if I have my players and they're in the area, I say, hey, if you're in this side of the city, hop out here. If you're on this side of the city, go there. And they know that I do my best to, send them players when they need that type of stuff. So
Yeah,
it's pretty good. There's also a gym down in near Niagara Falls that I have a couple buddies that run. So if I have guys that come out from there, I say, hey, here, this is the gym out there, Athletic Farm. Go check out these guys. They're the real deal. So I work with several gyms and I had that partnership. So it allows me to like you know not think about, oh, do I got to do programming for them, because I'm not I can't not that I can't do the programming. It's just I don't have time, and my
yeah,
expertise is on this.
gotcha. Yeah, you were always big into like keeping your body in shape. Obviously, nutrition, obviously recovery, training wise.
Mhm,
When we go back a little bit after the year we played together in the junior team here in Rosenheim, you joined the QMJHL and the OHL afterwards.
mhm.
Two
Yeah.
two of the biggest youth leagues in the world, probably.
Mhm.
Um, how was the difference when you joined those leagues in comparison to your time in Germany in the youth team?
Honestly, it was very similar. I felt with the schedule in the youth team in Germany in Rosenheim, I had more time to work out. I had more time to um, do things like that. And in the QMJHL and the OHL, you're playing 30 more games, so you don't have as much time to work out, but you're still putting in the lifts when you have those off days. You're still doing what you can to get extra reps because you're young at that time. Like, one, you think you're invincible and you can do so much, right? So you're doing all the little things. You're pushing yourself. You're exhausting yourself. Whereas I got
Yeah,
older to now, being 26, I couldn't do some of those things back then. Am I still in pretty peak condition? I'm like, yeah, I still work out now, 4 times a week. Can I do more than I did before? Yeah, I can probably lift a little bit more. But from that standpoint, it's, the longevity of what I was doing in Rosenheim. I was probably working out 4 times a week there during the
yeah.
season compared to, in the QMJHL and the OHL where it was only like 2 times a week, maybe three if we had enough week.
When you ignore your time playing in Rosenheim, you have for your age, a pretty good resume of teams you played for, nice cities, good
Mhm.
teams, obviously. What was your like favorite city to play in, or team to play for, and maybe your favorite city to play in or play against?
I'd say, okay, so for me, I'll say two things. So I'll do North America and then I'll do Europe.
Okay.
Favorite, obviously, place to play in Europe is Rosenheim. Um, I loved it there. I
Yeah.
loved the rink, the fans there, the just the city. I love the city there. It's truly a special place. Um, and then I think for the away arena there,
You
I
still
liked
remember some
playing.
teams or?
I still remember a little bit. I there was. I'm trying to remember the one team. It was yeah, I guess it was a derby game. I can't remember
Lands,
who it was.
Landshut?
It might have been Longshot. It
Yeah,
might have been.
probably.
That's a that's a cool arena. That was a cool rink to play against. That's a
Yeah.
cool arena. You know, they got some crazy fans. Um, but it's cool because when you're an import coming to Europe, like you get yelled at. They tell you like the craziest things. Like I'm probably not going to say it on here, but some of them are like very aggressive and
Yeah, I mean,
not no,
even for playing in juniors against them, there were a lot of people coming to the games. I mean,
yeah,
obviously, it's when you play in North America, the whole mindset is a little different, and
yeah.
a lot of guys come to the games. But for Germany, German youth hockey, there were pretty or a lot of people coming over to the games. Yeah,
Yeah, we had a lot. I remember like there was quite a bit of fans, and and I didn't expect that too. Like, because I know we'd go play one team, and there might be 500 fans. You
yeah,
go to a long shoot game, and they're pretty much trying to pack the rink, and
yeah,
it's like it was a crazy experience, especially at that age, and you know, being an import in Germany. um, They hated me. I loved it. Like stuff like that. Like me and another guy, Keegan, right?
yeah,
They would hate us on the ice and say things, and I'd look at you and be like, "What are they saying?" Oh, they said that. I'm like, "Yeah, that's not nice." Like stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
but so that would for sure be the two in Europe. In North America, I loved playing down in Fort Myers, Florida, for the Everblades. That was that city is a beautiful city down in Florida. Congratulations to them, by the way. They just won their third Kelly Cup in a row. Um, they're, unbelievable group of players there, coaching staff there, training staff, president. Um, they truly know what they're doing, and it's such a beautiful place. Like you're down in Florida, you walk out in the morning, it's 27 degrees. You're in shorts and a tank top and flip flops, walk into the rink.
Yeah.
You leave rink and it's you go sit by the pool or go to the beach and like there's palm trees everywhere. It's just it's beautiful, beautiful down there. And I guess playing on the road in North America, I loved playing against Savannah. They got it's a new team in the East Coast Hockey League, but they have a cool arena, like brand new arena. They sell out every game. I scored a lot of goals there, so that's why I like doing that. But their fans are crazy. Like they always played a good game, and it's just a city, old historic, U.S. city right on the water coast in Georgia. So that was a cool little place to play against there.
Yeah. How hard is it actually to move up, or you get like the chance to play a game or two for the AHL affiliate teams?
Very hard.
Yeah,
I played the 5 years. I never got an opportunity, and I had some really good, you know, weeks, weekends, months, and seasons. And it's a very difficult thing. And you know, it's it's funny. The ECHL, they have like a fake little name for it within the players and guys. So it's like the easy come, hard to leave league, because you can make the ECHL and be a great player in the ECHL, but it's hard to take that next step up. And for the guys who did it, like you got your chance and they take full advantage. And that's the one thing you can always say. It's like you can go to the ECHL, play your games, and do well, but for you to move up, like it's difficult. It's a hard thing to do, and it comes down to so many things. It's like if an AHL club, has an affiliation with your team, they, maybe they're hurting and injury wise, or maybe they need extra players because, maybe the NHL is calling up guys from the American League. A lot of different like factors come into play. and that's why like it's very hard to get to that American League. Um, However, it's you know what I can't say am I like all like am I still mad at it? I'm not mad. Like I gave him all in the ECHL. Like I had some good seasons. Like lots of goals. I had a lot of like game winning goals, game tying goals, shootout goals. Like um, I did what I do. Like I'm not a defensive player. Like Simo, you know that I'm a very offensive type of hockey player.
Yeah, I
So
know that.
I kind
I know that.
of I did what I had to do for my job. But you know what, it's a very difficult thing. And my advice for like guys that are going over the ECHL and going over to North America from Europe, or maybe in the ECHL or in North America trying to play there. It's like if you know do everything you can, and if you think it's enough, like it truly isn't. Like you have to have that mindset, and you got to be willing to put in the time, put in the effort, and know it's a process. And once you get that opportunity, you take full advantage of it. Because there are guys that they went from the ECHL, they took full advantage getting their call up in the AHL, and some of them are even in the NHL now. Some of them are full
Yeah.
time American League guys. So it's like it's one of the hardest things to do. That's why they even say the NHL is the best league in the world, because you got to be so good to be in that league, and there's so many hockey players out there. Well, then you got the AHL, and you can get in that league. It's so difficult.
Yeah. I mean the level in the East Coast, just from watching games, or I watched a couple of games when you played, to be honest. Um, it looks obviously really, really good. But if you see the players who come over to play in the Europe leagues, you still know that they're very good players who come over, but they're still not at that level of the guys who join or get the chance to play in the AHL. So you really
Yep.
have a feeling for how good the leagues in the States are, to be honest. I mean, you've been a fantastic player when we played together the 2 years. I mean, we had a lot of odd man rushes against us in juniors because we just played offense with Keegan. But I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, you really get that feeling for it if you see it watching television. I mean, I still can remember when I went with the national team to Colorado Springs. It was
Mhm.
just a college game or a university game, but the levels the players had already in this age, that's unbelievable.
It's crazy. Like it's and the ECHL is only getting better. Um, the NHL is only getting better. The NHL is only getting better. Today's game is completely different than it was, 5 years ago than it was 10 years ago. And in the future, the game is going to change in 5 years, and it's only getting faster. Um, Guys are getting stronger. Guys are getting more creative. Like guys are picking up the puck mid game and pulling off Michigans,
Yeah,
like like that. Like
yeah,
it's crazy. The skill some of like even the young players I train, the skill some of the young players have, like I'm like, wow, like you have that at that age. Like I can't wait to see what you have in, 3, 4 years down the road. It's Hockey is only getting better, and it's getting more difficult to become a superstar, not a superstar, but a fantastic hockey player to have a pro career. And you could have some player they're 14 years old and they could be a good player then, but their average, right?
yeah. I
When they
mean,
hit eight, it's hard. Like you never know who's gonna make it. Yeah, there are like the odd ones. You're like, okay, he'll be a professional hockey player. But then you look at some guys, you're like, I don't know if he'll make it or not. You have to be
yeah,
so going to be willing to put in that time. It's such a
yeah,
difficult thing to. I feel like hockey is the hardest sport to be good at. It's the hardest sport to make a career out of it and make a living out of
yeah.
it.
I mean, you know us, you know it probably the same as I know it, or you saw it over there when you played in the East Coast and watched some young talents rising up. The game
Mm-hmm.
changed dramatically in the last couple of years. I mean, we're both pretty young,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously we had a lot of time playing hockey and see how the game evolves from this maybe hard and physical play to this, yeah, it's getting faster, it's getting more, you have to be more flexible, obviously, but it's the wrong word. But you have to be more, compact. It's so fast. It's so like the little things matter even more than it did like 6 or 7 years ago when I still came up from the youth team to the pro team. I think it's the same
It's
for you to see overseas as well.
yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, the game is only getting better. The game is only getting faster. And people are starting to understand that. But like I look at it like this, and my advice is like you may have a kid who's super good and one of the best at his age when he's 12, 13 years old, but you don't know how he's going to be when he's 18, 19 years old because so many players develop over that time, right? It's, I was having this conversation with a couple ex-pros that, they own a rink. The NHL is the best for this. There's no bad NHL player. There's no even good NHL player. They're all great. Why? Because they can do everything, but there's only better than that. That is why it's the NHL. That is why it's the National Hockey League, the best league in the world. There's no bad or good NHL player. They're all great. In order to be in that league, you have to be great. You have to dominate because they are all the best when they were younger, and as they got older, they just got even better. And
Yeah.
that's why it's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I say yes to everything that you just said. And as when you watch it on TV, I mean, they do the same as we did before in our careers, but they seem to make the decisions obviously with the smaller eyes, but you have less time than here in Europe, and you have to be even more like with the head at the right time and have the
Yeah.
right mindset to make those little details in a split second. And they do the same thing as we do, just faster. And every time they do not every time, but obviously most of the times they do the right plays, and that's why they are that good.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why it's the NHL.
Yeah.
That's why.
Who you got winning the cup?
Florida. It's done.
Comeback
As
from
much as I'd
Edmonton
like,
or
no, as much as I'd like, Edmonton to win. They lost last night.
yeah.
It's 3-0 in the NHL. In the national, like Florida's
Yeah,
winning it.
it's hard to
Florida,
come back for sure.
that's Edmonton. I don't know. They're a great hockey team, phenomenal hockey. But like Florida's so good this year, and they're just playing such good hockey.
Yeah.
So I think Edmonton might win, game 4, but Florida's winning it, in 5 games.
Is the season still going in the AHL and in the East Coast? East Coast is
The
finished, I
so
think, right?
yeah, the East Coast finished. So Florida, everybody just won their 3rd straight Kelly
Yeah,
Cup.
they
So that's
repeat there.
3 years in a row.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so good. And then the AHL finals are starting. I believe it's the Hershey Bears in Coachella Valley. Their series starts tomorrow or
Okay.
tonight, one of the two. So all pretty much. So the East Coast is done. AHL will be done shortly, and the NHL could be done by tomorrow.
Okay.
So
Pretty long
it's
season, to be honest.
they're like by the end of it, some of these teams like think of it. You got an NHL season that's 82 games. Well, by the end of it, by the end of playoffs and everything, like you're
You
playing
could get
close to
to
100.
100 games.
You could play 100 games. Like it's a lot. Like it's a lot on the body, a lot on everything
Yeah.
like that. So it's your body takes a toll. That's why a lot of these guys after the season, they don't do anything for a couple weeks. They go to a beach, relax. Like they don't work out. They don't skate. You need to give
Yeah.
yourself time to feel better.
Yeah, I mean, because we played 2 finals back to back the last 2 years, lost the
Yeah,
first one, won the second one, and moved up to the second highest league now here.
yeah,
And you know it obviously since you've been or because you've been here as well. We started in beginning of August with training camp. We finished back to back years at the last week of April. So
yeah.
it's a pretty long season. And now you gotta obviously my job is to motivate the players again to work out the summer to build a foundation to to play again the next year in starting August, obviously. How is it for you when you had this long season or those long seasons in the East Coast? How important is it to build this foundation? How hard is it to motivate yourself? Obviously, coming out of a long season with 70, 80 games, and to be like, hey, okay, I got 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off, but then I have to be right back.
It was, I didn't find it that difficult. Like I knew, like I like working out, so like I would do some little stuff after the season, like after a week or two. But like I gave myself 2, 3 weeks of not doing anything, and then I'd get right back into it. And I had the mindset because I wanted to play again. I wanted to, I knew it was a process I would put together, you know, a couple month program of like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to build some strength again, start skating again. For me, I didn't find it difficult because I liked it. I enjoyed it. And I find at this level, a lot of guys, like, it's not difficult. They want to, if you didn't want to do it, a lot of guys would just retire, right? Uh, Guys would know that, okay, hey, this was my season's outcome. Maybe it wasn't what they wanted. Okay, I got to put the work in again. I got to do this again. So it's not as difficult as people try to make it out to be. Like it's there. People want to do it.
Yeah. Last and quick question. Olympics coming up pretty soon, and how do you feel about the NHL guys maybe joining that? You think that's a
Well,
good idea? Or?
I think they are. I thought
Yeah,
I saw that. I think it's a great idea. I think here's the thing: the NHL has the best hockey players in the world. It is going to be unbelievable, but I don't know who's going to win.
yeah,
I don't. Russia is so good. Germany's got a lot of great older hockey players.
yeah,
USA, Canada, obviously. Czech Republic just won the World Championships.
yeah,
They have they're good. Sweden's always good. Like it is going to be it because we haven't had NHL players playing it in a long time,
yeah, for sure.
right? So
Yeah,
I'm excited to watch. Like I will be watching almost every single game. I'll be tuning in. I'll be like, okay, like this is cool. This is like
yeah,
it's gonna be players are gonna want to win because they're gonna want to win for their country, right?
obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So
Especially
like
when they didn't have the opportunity to play in it for a pretty long time, to able to see them perform on the biggest stage.
yep.
It's gonna be pretty fun to watch.
You're gonna get players like Connor McDavid playing against Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah,
They're are arguably the best. McDavid won. Draisaitl probably in the top 5 in the world.
for sure.
And
Yeah,
playing Germany, playing against each other, like it's as much as they're probably best friends, they're gonna be going head to head in a game, like
yeah,
because they're
yeah,
gonna want to win. So it's things like that where I'm very excited to see.
yeah. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Jake,
Of
thank you for your time and congrats
course,
on a nice, good career, and obviously
I
good luck in
appreciate
the
it.
future with your camp and your next big goals ahead. I wish you all the
I,
best.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. No, like I said, you're your brother for life. It was, I met you over in Germany, and it was a pleasure playing with you multiple times. And we had fun over there, and it was. I'm happy you sent me a message to come hop on. I'd love to, 100%. If you need to do another English episode, I'd love to hear your English again. It's better than you think. But no, no, I really appreciate that, and thank you for congratulating my career. It was I enjoyed playing, but now my mindset is like developing the next best players and doing what I can to help them out.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe you got the next superstar in your hands. You have to
You know
just
what?
you have to forge
I got
him.
a couple players that I train with now that are going into their OHL draft here next year. One of the guys, he's a phenomenal hockey player, great kid. His name's Keaton Arda. He just got ranked #1 prospect. So and you know what? Great family. The kid works so hard, and that's just before the season's starting. So I'm very curious to see how his year goes. He's putting in the work. He works so hard on the ice, off the ice. He takes care of his body. So I'm excited to see him play this year. A couple other players that will be, high draft picks in the top, first 3 rounds. So there's players there. It's just, they can get drafted. Is what they do after. It's all the work they put after. I'm excited to see. I got a lot of older players I work with that are in the OHL right now, NCAA. Going committed the NCAA too. So it's cool. There's a lot of high end talent, but it's all up to them. If they want
Yeah,
to,
for sure.
do it, it's all up to them.
Yeah, but they got a great coach in you, and good luck for everything that comes up in the future. And like I
Mm-hmm.
said, thanks for taking your time talking to me. And I for sure hit you up to do maybe a second episode in the
Part
future.
two. We'll do a part
Talk a little
two.
bit about maybe some injury prevention or like rehab stuff. What's obviously a pretty big deal playing hockey.
Absolutely.
But for
You
now,
let me
like I said
you let
again,
me know when.
thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Simon. I appreciate it, buddy.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
That's it for this episode of Science and Sports. If you enjoyed my podcast, please subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Your feedback is very important to me, so I look forward to your ratings and comments on your favorite podcast platform. Feel free to share the podcast with friends, colleagues, and anyone interested in sports science, athletics, performance, and health. Together we can inspire even more people about this exciting topic.